What's going on, guys? It's Easy. Welcome to my channel. So in this video I am going to share all my PvE builds for Demon Hunter. That is going to help a lot of you guys out there who wants to play Demon Hunter class, whether you're a new player or someone who is switching to Demon Hunter for the first time, or maybe if you're a veteran Demon Hunter player, you might learn something new or some new tactic. We will see. You guys just let me know in the comments section. And before I get into my builds, let me share my base. There are a couple of bases which I need to share with you guys so you would understand what my builds actually work around. Starting off with my Reforge. So for the Reforge, in all my PvE builds, this is the Reforge which I use. So I have primary damage, skill damage, critical damage, and then duration of beneficial effects and attack speed. Here I want to elaborate couple of things. Primary damage is pretty much basic. It doesn't need any elaboration. Skill damage is pretty much the same. All your empower skills which work with the primary are actually still skills, so yeah, it will increase skill damage for those as well. Then critical hit damage for rolling consequence and mother lament, you'll be able to hit even harder when you're going to deliver critical hit damage. And then beneficial duration, of course, all the skills that I am using on my builds are buff skills, meaning they will last longer. So having beneficial duration in the Reforge is really nice. And finally, attack speed. I believe Demon Hunter take really nice benefit from attack speed, so having attack speed in all these slots is actually really nice. So that is my Reforge.
That can help.
Then in my PvE, most of my PvE for speed running, speed farm, or dungeons, I actually use this one, Protector, so I can run faster. But when I play Gauntlet, this is when I switch to Attacker. Gauntlet or Raid, that is the time when I actually only use Attacker. Otherwise I would prefer Protector here. Then from the Paragon setup, this is what I use pretty much on all my PvE setup. Paragon is Unseen Dynamism, Gifted, then Uncanny and Careful Aim with Lone Wolf, that gives you more movement speed. However, when I am about to do Gauntlet or Raids, I switch my Lone Wolves to Sharp Eye. That is how I do it. And for the speed farming, I actually use Brawler, this one, so I get bigger size. Look at that, how big I am, and I can get even bigger, and look how big I am. And if I want to do speed farming, let me just quickly show you my speed farming, then we will get into the build, because I really want to share my base here with you guys before getting into the builds itself, because then I will be able to break them quite quickly. But you can clearly see here, I even change my stance to movement stance because I no longer have Lone Wolves, so you can see how fast I am running. And these Malakas are dying quite quickly, except this one. He's dead, 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 and it is going quite nice. So I think that's enough. Let me just exit now. Alright, we are out. Now let's get into the runes that I am using for all my PvE setup. This is the rune which I would say is important. On offhand, that gives you elite damage and critical chance. You can get 8% critical chance if you have 2 of these runes on your offhand. And also this rune here on the helm and shoulder is actually really good because it gives you more beneficial duration. And apart from these runes, the other one are just fine. I don't have specific. Maybe this one, but not that important. But it does give you some skill damage, so this is actually good. So in most slot, yellow runes are better. And now let's get into the builds. Let's begin with my set items, because this is the set items in all gear or all builds I am using for PvE. 4 piece of Seas of Gold, Swan Gold, because it increases your strafe damage because of channeling, and also does the explosion when you stop channeling. I don't want to explain a lot into it, but if you have any question, do let me know in the comment section. Then we have this one here, 4 piece of V2s for increased beneficial duration and also increase attack speed. And also I tried to focus getting the beneficial duration on some set items and also on my chest and belts. So that's that. So now that I have explained most of the things, and this is what my gems looks like, you guys can see I have rank 6 Colossus Engine, rank 10 Moon Skull, rank 6 Gloom Cask, rank 6 Bloodsoaked Jade, rank 6 Portal Hope, then rank 7 Wolf Hewt, rank 7 Rolling Consequence, and finally Fervent Fang. And getting into the secondaries, this is what my secondary looks like on PvE. And keep in mind that critical chance is what I always focus on my helmet, my shoulder, and all 4 weapons here. Critical chance is really important. Having Mother Lament and Rolling Consequence itself is good, but you should definitely have a different source. Alright, now let's get into the speed builds. For this you can actually use Brawler, or you can still use the Slinger. It's up to you which one you prefer. If you're going for the Slinger, I already showed you my setup. This is what I would be using, Lone Wolf. If you want to go even faster, then Brawler is for you. And now for the essences itself, this is actually going to be a longer video. Anyways, where is it? Skills. So crossbow shot, multi-shot, daring swing, and strafe and vengeance are the skills. Here I'm using this helmet to get more movement speed with my daring swing, because this is the only essence which gives Demon Hunter a speed. Then I am not comparing, I am making a combo of that helm with the Titan Slayer that actually now fires ricochet between enemies and also immobilizing them. Then also a third piece is Trample Hope that increases the attack speed, not the primary attack speed but the attack speed of your skills, and it works quite nicely. Then for the chest piece itself, I am using Sinful Vigor so I can last longer with my strafe energy. Fang Spitter is what I'm using for multi-shot. This is really nice. And I am then using the Unrelenting Fury for the strafe, so my strafe can last longer, and Painsover obviously to empower all my skills with the primary. And lastly, the Hunger. You can use something else, but I love having penetration on my speed builds. It just makes your Demon Hunter a lot faster when you're speed farming, because you will be able to penetrate through 3 monster. So that is why I use Hunger. And also my slot is awakened, so I get 10% more primary damage. So that is my speed builds there. Then let's get into my builds for challenge dungeons. Not challenge, yeah, challenge dungeons, or mostly I use these builds for my, what is it called, challenge rifts. Yeah, it is what it is called. This is challenge rift. I use these builds for challenge rift, and this is what my setup looks like. You guys can see pretty much the same. All I do is switch here to attacker. And getting into the essences itself, you definitely need a rolling consequence to use this build at its maximize potential, otherwise you won't be able to trigger Eyes Ablaze, because it works versus the enemies that are on fire, because what it does is multi-shot cause an explosion when hitting burning enemies, and rolling consequence is going to do that for you. Hold on, let me open this. This is the setup which are we using: explosive arrows, multi-shot, spinning chakram, strafe, and vengeance. I will explain more in a second, but again, sinful vigor. For the shoulder we are using hailfire, cough unrelenting, because it will help you reduce the cooldown of your vengeance skill if you have an awaken slot. Fang Splitter again, then unrelenting furor, electrum luna for the chakram, and pain sower. So that is what it looks in a quick showcase. And now let me show you why I am using chakram. So when I go down here, monster difficulty is definitely going to be higher. It's 16% higher. I would throw my chakram on them. It is going to gather them together, and then you can do a lot of damage. This works quite nicely if you are playing up against the higher difficulty. So you can gather them and then do a lot of attack. Let me quickly show you here. Boom, and it works quite nicely. Let me find some more here. It is quite a nice AoE in my opinion, and boom, it works really nice. So this is what my build looks like here. Let me just quickly kill the boss and then we will leave. Alright, lastly, my raid builds, or the highest damage builds, which I called G2.0, Gauntlet 2.0. Before that I used to use this one here. You guys can quickly pause and check it out, but its damage output is a lot less compared to the G2.0. This is my main builds to go, so this is what I use. You can clear pause here quickly, but I will explain that as well. And this is 600 million build, I mean 600 million DPS builds. And the only thing which I have switched here is not my Paragon setup. When I'm doing raid, I would use this one, and when I'm doing challenge dungeon, I would keep myself lone wolf. And I also switch to attacker when I am doing raid or gauntlet or challenge dungeons. So these builds are pretty much the same as my challenge dungeon builds. The only different here is you can see all the same skills, all the same set items, same helm, same chest piece, same pant, same offhand, both of them. The only thing which I switch is my second offhand, and instead of Electrum Luna I am using this one, which is Line Joe, and Spinning Chakram instead empower you for several seconds, during which your primary attack launch Chakram that bounce between and damage enemies. So you see, only couple of essences a change makes a huge difference. For Demon Hunter, you really don't need to change a lot of setup to make a entire new build. So these are my 3 top builds for Demon Hunter, which I have been playing with for the longest time, and they have been serving me quite nice. So you guys have now the builds for speed farming or Challenge Rift. You can use those builds in Challenge Dungeon as well and provide quite a nice support, or you can go with the full DPS with this build and you will be able to do a lot of damage. So let me know which build you actually play with the most in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Until then, take care, have fun, and bye guys.